Hello all. So, another beautiful day here in California. Yesterday got up to 86 in some parts of the Bay Area. Here in the city it was in the 80s. Today, I'm early morning, 8:30 in the morning. We're damn near in the 80s now. We're gonna have a heat wave today. I'm already sweating. Alright, well, we always have heat waves in November, don't we? Let's go on with the hike. Or in my case, it's just regular exercise for my back. That's why I do all these, is so I can continue to survive. But I don't mind. I like hiking. And there's parks in every direction. Remember just a few videos ago, I'll try and remember to put the link down below, but I talked about the ICC report and how I thought they were incorrect on their measurements because they were too optimistic, and it was old information, up to 10 years old in some parts of it, so it wasn't really that accurate. Well, a Princeton University study has now come out, and I don't know the dates of that study either. So it comes out that the UN was wrong, and it had to do with ocean heat and how much heat from our atmosphere, from our rising CO2 and other greenhouse gases, have been rising, causing more greenhouse reaction, meaning more heat. Now, the ICC report put a lot of that heat back out into space, but it turns out it didn't go back into space, did it? No, it went into the oceans. Haven't we said that over and over and over again? When you see the ocean temperatures going up and up and up, doesn't that tell you something? Well, it turns out that they were miscalculated. By 60% of the heat per year was cut out, meaning that each year there was 60% more heat in that ocean, and the ocean retained it than they had given credit for. So that means we even have less time than was thought before. Now, the Orange Man and other world leaders will see this report. Will they act on it? Many countries and neighborhoods are trying to act on it, but they're getting flack from the right-wing side of things, saying that we don't want solar panels and wind power in the power grid because it comes from the left. People, we have got to get rid of this left-right shit because it's going to kill us. We're all going to die, not all together. Some people will die in the Midwest of the U.S. when the heat gets up to 130, 135 consecutively over 3 or 4 days. You're going to see probably half the people die. Because at those temperatures, there's going to be too much power drawn off the grid and it will collapse. Plus the overheating of transformers and so on. So you're not going to have any air conditioning. We will then die. Unless you get very creative. You know, thinking you're going to get in your car and drive 1,000 miles out of the heat. Do you really think your car can drive in 135 degrees? No. That's just one way. Another way is the hurricanes are going to get much bigger, and the tornado. And you're going to see tornadoes where you never saw them before, like up in Canada and farther north than they normally are. So we have an election here in just a few days here in the U.S., and the Orange Man is putting on 11 rallies of lying. Every word that comes out of his mouth is a lie. He says this caravan coming up from Honduras is a threat. Well, as of right now, the numbers are down to 2,000. By the time it gets to the U.S., it'll either be nothing or just a few hundred who will ask for asylum. Not a threat, no ISIS members, nothing. This happens every year, as I told you in my last video, and it's nothing to be worried about, other than Honduras needs help. Can't the U.S. help a little? Instead of putting so much money into hate and that sort of thing, why don't you bring the country together, Mr. Orange Man? Why don't you act on these big reports that are coming out now? And stop talking about how you're going to allow pre-existing conditions in your new health plan. Wrong. That's a complete bald-faced lie. In their platform, it purely says they do not want pre-existing conditions, and they fight it to this very day. They're fighting pre-existing conditions, saying it's not fair to the poor industry. The insurance industry isn't making enough money. Do you think the industry is not making enough money? Medicare for all. Well, it looks like the orange man after midterms is going to try and get rid of Medicare altogether. Social Security be cut back drastically. It's already at low levels where people can't even get rent out of it if they need it. Social Security was an emergency fund for those that were so unfortunate not to make the big bucks on the big American lie that everybody will have a... God, I can't stand this place. It's so busy today. You know, lying has been always in politics, especially in other countries. We've seen lying regularly, such as in Russia, China, and here now in the U.S. It's all part of politics. If they open their mouth, they're lying. Why even get involved with these criminal gangs who now run the world? I have a hard time even following this anymore. I followed it all my life. It's sickening what's happening. Sickening what we're doing to children all over the world, whether it be with bombs, cages, or sending 5 or 13,000 troops to the border of Mexico, or maybe even 15,000. That's more than is in Iraq and Afghanistan together. You think a couple of kids coming on strollers is a threat, but yet the orange man's portraying them as a threat. Come on, people, we're smarter than that, aren't we? So I certainly hope that everybody's doing their part to curb climate change as much as they can do. The only other thing, after the midterms, dump them all and replace from top to bottom. We have no choice. If we are to live any longer, then, and I'm not saying live comfortably, just live. What's coming is going to be hell. And it may come as early as this coming summer, or maybe even this coming winter. So I appreciate all the ups and the downs and the new subscribers. And until next time.